Good morning, everyone. Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of my wonderful friends, new subscribers, people who have been here since the beginning. I am so thankful for all of you. The reaction I got from my video yesterday, the gift extravaganza, has been extraordinary. You know, it's really a stroke to my ego having all you guys comment like you do. I appreciate you all so much, and I appreciate you for being here, and that's what this is all about, right? Let's see, it is July 16th, 7:57 a.m., 75 degrees. It says it's mostly cloudy. It's not. It was, but now it's mostly sunny. Another hot day here in Hawaii, and that is okay with me. So let's see. Life stuff. Called the doctor's office yesterday because I hadn't heard back yet for my MRI, and turns out I was kind of lost in the shuffle. I had mentioned earlier that the doctor's office that we finally found was one that's a teaching hospital, and the doctor we had seen the one time we've been there had graduated. Basically, she was a resident who had finished the program, and I guess we got lost in between her and them assigning a new one, so nobody had really done anything with my MRI results. So anyways, doctor called back at like 20 till 7 last night, which, you know, I really appreciate. They say on their website that they do, you know, if you leave a message, they will call back that same day. But I didn't call them until like 4:30, so I kind of didn't expect a call back. So I was really appreciative. The results showed that I do have a little bit of a bulging disc problem, but it's very mild. I do have a bit of a sciatica problem. I guess it's not a pinched nerve. Well, I guess it is a pinched nerve in that whatever the channel is that the nerve flows through is starting to get smaller. There's a fancy name for it. I don't know what it is. So they are going to send me to some physical therapy, and I hopefully will hear today from one of the nurses there to get me set up for physical therapy for my back. So things are moving along in that direction. Other than that, tomorrow's Mike's birthday. Yeah. Forgot to bring up my notes here, so let me do that, because there are a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. Couple more notes on the gift extravaganza. The bags, the project bags, and the Floss Buddy. As I said, you will be getting directly in touch with Kay to work out what you want for that. Now, she does say that she prefers to ship just within the continental US, because, you know, she will be the one that's shipping. I'm not really sure how to manage that, since I don't know, you know, when I draw your name, unless I have had some kind of further interaction with you. Like there's quite a number of you that I know now where you live, but there's a lot that I don't, of course, out of 5,000 subscribers. So I'm not quite sure how to manage that, except to say, if I pull your name for the bags and you're not in the continental US, let me know and we'll try and work something out. I may just send something to Kay for the shipping, so she doesn't have to take on that additional expense. So I also heard from another woman who has a relatively new Etsy shop. She sells needle minders, scissors, and scissor fobs, and her needle minders, she has so many more decorative and unusual ones than a lot I've seen out there. Now, I don't look at needle minders that often, right, because I don't use them, but there were probably a half dozen that I favorited because they were so pretty. So I will be linking her shop below. It is French. Excuse me as while I totally destroy French. Mon petit bijou atelier, I believe, is somewhere close. I'll be linking her below, but that is the 10th prize then that I will be drawing for. I haven't heard back from the Russian shop yet, but we have a couple weeks. If I hear back, I'll just be adding it to the list. Let's see. There is a new series happening on Flosstube. It just started, and I think it's just like a very concise group of people, if you will. I don't think concise is the right word, but it's the only one my brain's coming up with. Cheryl McKinney had the idea to have a group of Flosstube creators do videos talking about their favorite designers. And these designers that may not get the attention that these people feel they deserve. And some of them are designers from way back in the 80s or 90s, and some of them are more contemporary that might just not be getting enough attention. And so there's a group of maybe, I haven't watched through them all yet, I would say maybe 10 Flosstubers that Cheryl reached out to that have done videos. And the videos are, I think the longest I saw was Liz's, a stitchy bug, no, is that right? A stitchy bug over in England. I watched hers yesterday. It was brilliant. She and I are twins. She's my twin across the pond. Hers was about a half hour long. Most of them are 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And it's just focused on 3 designers and showing patterns that they have from those designers and if they have any finishes or any whips from those designers. Brilliant idea. I will link Cheryl's Flosstube channel below, or I will link to that specific video, and then you can look in the description box of her video, and she has listed all of the other creators that are participating in this and links to those. And each one of them in their description box have links to all the other ones. So Cheryl, great idea. I'm really enjoying it. I got through Lynette, Homesteading on the Home Front, Lori, Mischievous Stitches, Liz, like I said, I think a stitchy bug, and Leslie Hurley's yesterday. Loved them all. Loved them all. So highly recommend that. I wanted to talk a little bit about comments on the videos. I am not, for the most part, the comments are just pouring in on my video from yesterday, the gift extravaganza video. And for the most part, I'm like hearting them all so that you're aware that I've seen them. There are some that I feel I need to respond more fully to, and I do. But for the most part, I am not actually responding to your comments on the video yesterday. I hope you will forgive me for that. I do have a very strong belief that your time is valuable. If you are taking the time to comment on my video, I honor that by responding. I am not perfect. I don't get to them all. And I feel guilty when I don't. Let me tell you, there's I think the Flosstube I did right when I got home from StitchCon, I haven't responded to all the comments. And I think there's even some questions in there. It weighs on my mind, people. It really does. I heard from somebody today on one of my recent videos that she was watching another Flosstuber's video, and the person said that for the most part she doesn't respond to comments, that she just doesn't have time for that. And this person was very upset by that comment because, again, she felt her time was valuable and this Flosstuber didn't value her time. I find that so unfortunate and very sad because the greatest part of my joy in doing these videos is you guys, is getting to know you, is I'm having trouble with words. Correspondence is the word that's coming to mind, and that's not what I want. The interaction, the connection that I find with you guys through the comments. And of course, being able to do those videos at StitchCon. I mean, why would you not interact with the people that are watching you? I mean, I don't understand it. I think it's very sad because I think this person is missing out on a very rich detail of what this channel brings. So, if I don't leave a comment for you, or if I don't respond to your comment, and that's another thing I try to do. I try to comment on everybody's videos that I watch because I do appreciate it so much on my own channel. But what I meant to say is, if I don't respond to your comment and it's something that you really want a response to, please know that it's not intentional. Please know that life got the better of me and I just didn't get to it. And just ping me again, whether it's on a newer video or whether you just go back and like respond to your own comment, because that will bring up a notification for me and I can go back and find that and respond. I never intentionally not respond to people. Unless it's like the video yesterday, which I'm telling you up front. All right, the other thing I wanted to ask you guys is for some help. Mike and I went to a craft show, a juried craft festival up in Haleiwa, which is the town on the North Shore up here. And it was about, I think there were probably about 100 vendors or so. It was a pretty good size show, and it was a juried show, so it was a more higher end artwork. I mean, everything from painting to photography to woodwork and caustic designs. I'm not even sure what to call it. People carving out wood and then layering resin and painting in the hollowed out places. Jewelry. I mean, everything you can imagine. It was a great show. But one of the things that really stood out to me and struck both of us was the photos I take, even with just my little iPhone here, were just as good as many, if not all, of the photographers there. Each has their own style. They have better cameras, so there's certain techniques, still action, water flows, waves, catching the waves, that I can't do with the iPhone, of course. But the composition, the knowledge of and understanding of lighting, I have all that. Does that mean I want to get into a juried craft show? No, that's not where I'm going with this. Many of you had said, Jan, you should enter your photos in competitions. I don't want to get into that. What I do want to do, and what I've started a little bit, but what I want your help with, is to put my photos out somewhere online for you guys and others to purchase if you're interested. There's a website called Fine Art America, which I'd had stuff on before, and at some point just took them down for some unknown reason that isn't still in my head. But I'm going to start putting photos up there. My problem is I take so many, and it's very hard for me to narrow down what others in the world may see as the best ones. You know, you get kind of attached to your stuff and you think they're all good. I know they're not all good. I do weed down. But what I want, it is an intensive process doing the uploading to these sites. There's a lot that goes into, especially Fine Art America, because they have so many products that you can put the photos on, you know, not only just in a frame or on wood or on canvas or anything like that, but towels and tote bags and mouse pads and mugs, you know, all that kind of stuff. And me as the uploader has to decide what I want my price point to be on all of those. That's pretty intensive, besides just the tagging and the description and all that. So I can't put a whole lot of photos up there. I have to find a way to narrow it down. And what I want to do is basically create a curating group private group on Facebook that I will narrow like the day's pictures down to a dozen, 10, something like that, put them on this group, and then I want to find like 10, a dozen of you that will look at those photos, and just by your responses to them, wow, meh, you know, just whether you love or like, laugh, that will give me, you know, I basically want your gut instinct when you see a photo. If you go, wow, that's what I want to know. So that will tell me those, I can narrow it down even farther, and just those 3 will go up on Fine Art America. So if you are on Facebook and you are interested in being part of this group, again, I only want like 10 or 12. So if I get more than that, I'll basically take the first, I know it's unfair to take the first ones that respond because of time zone differences and all that, but I'll work it out. If you're interested, respond to this video and let me know your Facebook name, because when I create it, it'll be a private group. I think I can invite you. I've never done this before. Mike has for his books. He has a small beta reader group that he uses for his books. So he can step me through that. But anyways, give me your Facebook name if you're interested in being part of my curating group, and I'll get this set up and figured out. So we are, let's see, how far into this are we? We're 16 minutes. I think it's time to show some cross stitch. Oh, and speaking of photos, the photos at the beginning of this, OMG, what a weekend. Sunset Friday night. Saturday, we did a rim trail hike around Hanauma Bay. I mean, not just stunning scenery, but it just about killed me. It didn't really. We got to a point, though, where we'd have to have walked on a ledge like this wide, well, a little wider than that, maybe about that wide, and it dropped right down to the water. And you know, I ain't no spring chicken. I did fairly well on this hike, going down inclines like this that was just a rock slope. But you get to a certain point where it's like, you know something, I'm gonna leave that to the spring chickens. Let's turn around and head back up. So you'll see some of those, and then I'll put a couple photos in from the Arts Festival too. All right, so that's that. On to stitching. I do have one finish. I was hoping for 3. I didn't quite make it. But Season Summer by Lila Studios is finished. Yay, such a pretty piece. I love this. I do have the other 2. I have spring finished. I do have autumn and winter. I will start the fall one. I start them on the equinox, so that the fall one will get started on September 21st. This, I hope to fully finish today. You remember doing this one for Mike for his birthday. Almost got it done. His birthday's tomorrow, as I said. So I still have to do, let's see, we have the Smyrna crosses inside the flowers. I have a little leaf here that I left out. I have to do that, and then the beads, and I'll be done. So I hope to get this done today as well, and get it fully finished. I'm gonna try and get them both fully finished because you know, once I have the materials out and I start cutting it, I think it's easier to just do them both at the same time. But this one will be first. If I get that one done, that will be awesome. The other almost finished was my sweater. So I do have both sides done. I now have to seam up the sides, which won't take any time. That's a 3-needle bind off. And then pick up stitches along the neck and do the neckline, weave in all the ends, and that will be done except for the blocking. So hopefully this week that will get done. And again, that is Palmer Tea by Kitty B Knitting, the gal that I worked with at the yarn store in Sarasota. Hold, please. All right, current projects. Get this stuff out of the way, otherwise it will go on the floor. So what I was working on was the Grace Quaker sampler. I was working on this motif here, and I did get that done. So I store Grace in one of the muslin bags from Dying to Stitch, and I've showed you before. I just have this tag hanging on it, and I store all of the stuffs, the floss, and the pattern just in one of these mesh bags. And this all gets laid flat just in my cabinet. There are a couple of you, I'm remembering now, that asked for the colors that I'm using in Grace. I need to just put this up on my website on the conversion page. I will get that done this week at some point. And there's that motif. I think it turned out really pretty. So I just used the 2 colors, the white. Actually, you know something? Why don't I just go through the colors here? How much easier would that be? They are all Victorian motto except one. The one being the dark gray that I'm using for the 1/1 letters. And that is Gentle Arts Banker's Gray. And I do have other Banker's Gray that aren't as dark gray. So that is that. The other darker gray, so this gray here, is Victorian Motto's, and all the grays came from one of Victorian Motto's gray sets. And I know if she has run out of the set, she does not re-dye. So this other dark gray is called Bewitched. I'm sorry for the banging. That is our blinds downstairs. I still have the windows and doors open, so that's either the wind blowing it or a cat. And I think it's probably more likely to be a cat playing with the blinds. Nina gets in, like, the blinds that close across the sliding door are like these separate sections that kind of accordion out, and not accordion really, but they layer out and layer in. So Nina likes to get in between the layers, and she goes a little crazy. The whitish looking one, it's actually a very, very pale gray. I'm trying to get the label so I can see it out from underneath all the floss. It's called Primitive Stone. So it is a very pale, it looks white when it's next to these other colors, but it's actually a very pale gray. Kind of a whitey grayy combination. The one used in here, the lighter gray, it actually has some pink tones to it as well. That is Creeping Shadow. And this is just a lovely, lovely colorway. Look how pretty that is, all the different colors. And then the red, again, the floss is covering the tag. Hold, please. That is Crimson Apple. And again, gorgeous tones. So those are the colors. And on the latest the motif I just finished, I used the primitive stone and the creeping shadow. Love it. So, after I finished that motif, because that counts as a finish, I moved on to, I did the pole, right? And no surprise, Shades of Gold was the winner. And I was not sad at all. Well, maybe I was a little bit sad. I wasn't sad, but I was sad because I want to do them all. But how can you argue with this beauty? So I worked on, I'm still working on this motif, this little column band thingy coming down here. So I have one more repeat of this square type thing down here, the border to put in there. And then I'm going to, this big motif here gets repeated up here. So I'll move up to that. Yeah, just so pretty. So again, for those that are new, this is 36 count mystery linen. It is kind of a goldish color. The floss is Mrs. Sada's silk floss in the Darling colorway. There was somebody who was looking for suggestions on other material that they could use. Oh, sun just went behind the cloud. Other colors of material they can use. So I kind of went through the 123 website and looked at the different colors of linen and suggested several for her. She got, I believe it was gingerbread. I don't remember whether that's a Picture This Plus or Weeks. I don't remember which company is making that, but gingerbread was the colorway and it looks fantastic. It's a little bit more rusty orange than the gold, but it looks, and she's using the Darling colorway as well, and it looks fantastic. So there are other options if you can't find that goldish. All right, so those are my big projects. I finished Summer Seasons, or Season Summer. I'll be done with the one for my husband today. So my small project that I'm going to be working on an hour a day is the mushrooms one. I took it downstairs so I don't have it up here. So you'll be seeing more of that in the future. Let's see. Other things I got. A couple things I bought, and then I did get a gift. I got a couple gifts. I got the bags. They also sent, Kay also sent me all of the, where are they? I forgot about that. She sent me all of the glitter cottages as well. The generosity, again, the generosity just astounds me. How could you not want to interact with your viewers? How could you not? I'm sorry. A little bit of a rant there. Tina also sent me Glitter Cottage 8, I believe. She had an extra. And I'd forgotten that Kay was sending me these. These came on the same day. I thought that was funny. My husband thought it was funny too. I'm kicking my sewing machine, sorry. So anyways, thank you so much, ladies. You guys blow me away. And then I had seen Hydrune working on this for a while. She's been posting it on Instagram. And she did get it as a kit. And I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness. Look at that. Enter in friendship, go in peace. Namaste. Elephants. How awesome is that? So I said, Hydrune, when you're done with that, if nobody else wants it, can I buy it from you? Well, of course she gifted it to me. And she also sent along, apparently, I think probably a lot of this is this Anchor metallic floss. She ran out of it, so she had to buy a bunch more. And she sent some to me as well. Thank you, Hydrune. I can't wait. I'm not starting it. Guys, I am not going to start it yet. But I can't wait to start it. Okay, art festival. There was a woman who painted material and then quilted with that material. They were stunning quilts. I couldn't afford them, but I could afford this little wall hanging, this little banner. And you know, it's just nothing, just some little paint, some little embroidery around, little fringe that she's painted, and whether you can tell, there's a little bit of glitter on these little fringy parts. This I could afford. So I thought, yep, that's coming home with me. Isn't that pretty? Woo! Whoops. So that was actually the only fiber artist type of person at the show. And then I mentioned to you last week, no, I think I mentioned it on my Stitch With Me video, Laura Nelkin's new Kairos cuff, and that I signed up for the club. So it came, this is how it comes in this little tin. So inside the tin, we have the yarn, the clasps that she designed with a local leather worker, the beads, and then she also includes the infamous dental floss threader. And if you've never worked with beads, you're like, why in the world do you have a dental floss threader? This is the way this is what you use to string beads onto yarn. So, once the sweater is done, I'll work on this and get this done. And then she also included a little packet by Soak of some hand cream. So, love it. So like I said, that will get worked on as soon as that sweater's done. I'm not going to start another knitting project. And this will only take a day or so. I think that's it. That actually wasn't too bad, only a half hour. It's amazing whenever you like get back into your regularly scheduled program. Put that over there so it doesn't get lost. All right, guys. Tomorrow I am going to do a flip through of the summer edition of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, so watch for that. Again, if you are interested in helping me pick photos to put up online, let me know in the comments and I will get a group started and invite you. Hopefully that's the way you do it. We shall see. Don't forget the gift extravaganza. I'm sure you've all seen the video by now and have probably commented, but if not, make sure you do that. And most importantly, my poor little mangled Give Love, Get Love pillow. Most importantly, give love, get love. There is so much disturbing dissension happening in the world. There is so much disturbing dissension happening in the knitting world. Tears my heart to pieces. I had a long talk yesterday with a very, very dear friend whose opinion I value greatly. And she brought me to the realization that the best thing I can do right now is to give love, get love. There's enough chaos out there. There's enough hatred and division being sown. I want you to know that you are loved here, that you are welcome here, no matter who you are. And that our love of this craft, whether it's knitting or stitching, I hope can hold us together. No matter who we are, what we believe. I disagree with many of you, I'm sure, on many different topics, but this is what brings us together. And I'm gonna cling to it. And I hope you do too. I love you. I will see you tomorrow on my Flip With Me. Flip with me. That could get ugly. How about if we just stick to a flip through? I love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.